Good morning, everybody, and welcome. As I said, welcome to our new virtual training platform. We are super excited for today, as we are doing one of my most favorite things to do. I think, Olivier, and that's our top agent panel.
Those are the best. These are the best. Getting top agents to share, open up their playbook, and kind of cover with everyone what's been working.
Right, and who else to hear better from people who have done it and they've tried and proven techniques. And since we couldn't be together this year at the Pines like we usually are, we decided to bring it to you virtual. So I hope you guys are enjoying the experience. This will be recorded. We will send it back out. But I'm super excited. I know Olivier's super excited. And you'll see that on the side of the video, there's comments. What you have to do is you have to sign into your YouTube account, through your Gmail, whatever other means. You can write comments. We're going to be displaying some of the comments on the screen. We'll have times for questions. I know our panelists are super giving and willing to share, so we're definitely going to have times for questions that they can answer. And real quick, I just want to do a quick introduction of our special guests. We have from Long Island, we have Peter Grasso, aka Pocket Pete. So if you hear me refer to him as Pocket Pete, I will definitely be, you'll know who I'm talking about. So good morning, Pete. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. I appreciate you guys having me here.
Thanks, Pete.
And out of South Jersey, a good friend of mine and a fantastic agent, broker, Tony Iovino. Tony, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Carl.
And lastly, from Kent, Ohio, which is not in New Jersey or New York. It's from Kent, Ohio. Someone who has become a very good friend of mine over the last year, and I'm so grateful to have her here. And some of our agents might have heard her speak before. As you know, she shares a lot of great nuggets. Anna Chiano Hendricks. So I'm hoping I'm pretty close on that.
Yeah, definitely. You're good.
So guys, thanks all for joining us. And here, of course, my partner, the man that needs no introduction, who most everybody knows, Olivier Lewis.
Good morning, everyone. I'm excited. Let's kick it off.
All right, let's do it. And I definitely feel underdressed compared to Tony and Olivier. I do.
Sorry, bud.
It's all right. We'll get through it.
Probably fine.
So let's start off. First question first. And, we're going to start with you, Tony. What prompted you to get into real estate? What industry did you come before that? And talk a little bit about your evolution from Tony day one as an agent to Tony today.
Yeah, no. Again, thanks for having me on, Carl. I really appreciate the invite. I got into business because I built my first house and just fell in love with, everything, associated with real estate. I was in the video productions industry, doing mostly wedding commercial work, but I worked for my father, who owned the company. And when I got into real estate, I was doing it part-time. And I actually got in at the wrong time because it was right before the crash in the late 2000s. But I worked really hard, gaining traction on my business, and but I was only able to do that and take that so far, being a part-time agent. So I eventually just flip-flopped those roles of production to part-time, real estate full-time, and was able to really dive into the industry and maximize what I was looking to do. And, eventually got to the point where I started doing really well in real estate, where I left the video production industry altogether. And I did that for about, 4 or 5 years until I really saw a big difference. So I want to say from start to finish, it took me about 7 years to really get to where I wanted to go. And then obviously, I got to a point in my career where I wanted to take it to the next level. And obviously I, explored all my options and found my home in Remax. So, when the opportunity approached me as far as opening up my business partner, Ricky, who ironically was going through transitions as I was at the same time, we decided to partner up and open up our own brokerage in South Jersey.
That's great. And for everybody listening, Tony is out of Williamstown in South Jersey. So if you ever have anyone looking down in that area, Tony is an awesome resource. I know a lot of our agents have referred down to Tony, so he's a great guy. So Tony, appreciate Love the story.
Thank you.
Anna, how about you? I know a little bit about the story, but share with everybody a little bit about your story along this journey.
Yeah, for sure. So I got in real estate 11 and a half years ago. I worked for educational sales for like for-profit education and did a lot of their directorship and sales training across the US, and just got into it because I love flipping and investing, and my dad was an investor also. So just got into it for like fun part-time money and had an attitude where I'm never going to be an agent full-time. I'll never be a broker. I'm never going to, all this, never be a listing agent. And then let's face it, right? Every agent on here is addicting. Got in my blood, and I was addicted. So from there, I always thought I was going to own a school, to be honest with you, not a brokerage, but just completely got addicted, fell in love, and here I am almost 12 years later, not in a school, but a broker setting.
And Anna, let me ask you a quick question. For everybody listening, in your market, what is your average sale price?
About 150,000 to 175. We are very Midwest guys, so yeah, you definitely get a lot of house out here.
And at that 150,000, on some of your best, what was the volume that you and your team produced?
26 to 28 million.
Right.
So a lot of units.
Wow.
Everybody listen to that. $150,000 average sale price. So about half of what we are in New Jersey, right? Half of what we are in New Jersey doing 26 and 28 million dollars. And if you talk to Anna one-on-one, she makes it sound very easy. So,
I don't sleep.
well, we're looking forward to, and later on, we're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive and unpack a little bit about that. But I kind of just wanted to get that out there to everybody watching. So, Pete, aka Pocket Pete, tell us a little bit about your journey in the real estate career.
Happy to. So I actually started my life in a different career. I was a union iron worker, and I was 5 years in. I started as the president of the local 361 Iron Workers Union. And one day I broke my ankle, my leg, and my back, and I had to spend time to reinvent myself. So I stepped into a real estate office, had an interview. It went well. I decided to join RE/MAX, and the next day there was an award ceremony, and I watched other people win. I got nothing, and I hated every second of that. So I decided I was going to dedicate all my energy to seeing if I could make this my career and be successful at it. And my first year, I tried everything that real estate agents do. I sold 7 houses. What worked for me, how I do things, and I tripled down on that. And in my second year, I sold 47 houses, I'm a top agent, and over the broker.
That's great. And Pete, for everybody listening, how long have you been in the business?
I've been in the business just under 5 years. Okay, and you and your team are on track to do what? How many houses this year? We're going to sell between probably 90 and 100 houses this year.
Yeah, it's awesome. Less than 5 years. It's a great build out. So, guys, so we really appreciate you giving us that information, Olivier.
Yeah. Guys, thanks so much for your backstories. And like so many of us, you've transitioned in, and to hear your success stories and how you started, like Anna said, it's addicting. It's like that for all of us. So I'm going to transition into a question that's always asked. What's been your biggest challenge you've faced in real estate, and what's been your biggest success? Tony, let's...
My biggest challenge in my real estate career was timing getting into the real estate career. It took a while to gain traction when the market dropped out like it did in 08. So it took a little while. Started, didn't have much money in my pocket. Not only that, the career I was in took a hit with the economy taking a hit. So, but looking back, probably the best thing that ever happened to my career, okay? Because it taught me how to market myself in a way. I wasn't having business just come to me because the market was steady and busy. So I learned how to market myself. I learned how to fight for my business against those big agents that have been around a while. And it actually kind of built a little bit of a personality in me as far as how I was going to move forward with my business. So it was I learned a lot those first like 5 years, and that was my big when you don't have any money coming in, it's hard to market yourself with funds, and it was just a lot of networking and a lot of hard work. So that was probably my biggest challenge in my real estate career.
Tony, I want to touch on that. I want to touch on that challenge because 2008, I can relate. That's kind of when I became an agent as well.
Okay.
When was the shift where you realized I can do this, this is going great, and you took off? Because it was tough. In 2008, there was uncertainty. The market was at a standstill. Lenders weren't lending. So starting off, I definitely feel your pain from that time.
Yeah.
But what was the shift where you said, I got this and it's going to take off?
I think the shift was probably, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe like 2011 is when I really started to get out of that little rut as far as trying to get my business building. I think, you know, people's anxiety level was going down, so they were more willing to, you know, explore the real estate market. And it really just came down to being in that position and being able to relate with a lot of clients that went through it as well, and just helping them get through it and make that switch as far as either downsizing or getting a bigger house if their family was growing. So just working together with the public, and you know, I felt what they went through because I went through it, and I think they, you know, clients like working with an agent that they can relate with. If you can find a common ground with your clients, I would make that one of my suggestions to all the agents. If you can find a common ground with your clients, it's going to go a long way, and they'll reach to their clients because, you know, they understand how you are with them. So that was probably the biggest shift right in 2011.
Awesome. And biggest success?
My biggest success is once I did gain traction, you know, I think it was 2015 where I think I did maybe 115 units, me and a couple of my agents that I had teamed together with. And, you know, I felt plateaued at the company. So I started exploring some options, and I met another agent that I knew through the Century 21 system, and he was going through the same type of, you know, struggles I was, and we both explored the RE/MAX option, and, you know, we found a home there. And my biggest success would be deciding to open up my own brokerage. You know, it wasn't easy. You know, Carl knows he was my mentor while doing that. You know, I picked his brain for probably a year. He took the time to come down to South Jersey, spend time with me, helping me get, you know, all the information I needed to start the company. And we just celebrated our 5th anniversary, and we have, you know, 30 agents, but they're all really producing agents. You know, I have one of the #1 agents in New Jersey, had #1 agent in the world in 17.
Awesome.
So we really started picking up really good quality agents.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Anna, what has been one of your biggest challenges and also biggest success in your career?
So I'll start off with challenges, because I think especially when I got into it too, my kids were about 7 and 10. So I've always been career oriented, always wanted to work full time, but obviously that balance of, you know, trying to be a wife and a mom and you know, full-time agent. So that's probably my biggest challenge is work-life balance. I'm still going to be completely transparent and honest, probably one of the hardest things I still deal with. So that was probably the biggest challenge, is managing everything. I'm very, very competitive. For anyone that knows me too, I'm wicked competitive. I'm Grammy at OSU Buckeye season for college football. But no, I'm very competitive too. So I think that can be a blessing and a curse at the same time. Some of my biggest probably successes are those aha moments. You know, me and my kids, there's agents I always wanted to beat, you know, when I was an agent. And when I would get their numbers, like, oh my gosh, like, I had the aha moment. Or even now sometimes, honestly, I know this might sound silly or cliche, but, you know, when I leave the office, turn lights off at night, you have the aha moment. Like, okay, I did it. I got this. You know, it's been a long road, but I got this. So that's probably my biggest success, is just finally hitting those milestones. My personal goal is beating some people in the area and just getting to where the brokerage point is right now.
Got it. Quick question on your challenge of time management. How are you dealing with that today and the work-life balance?
Alcohol.
You are a realtor. That's true. Okay.
There's the crowd.
I knew I was going to get that one first. Yeah, it's a struggle. Sometimes I just honestly have to have other people tell me, put the phone down. I'll have to write myself notes like, you can't look at your phone during this time. You have to send those boundaries, or else you're going to become that Pop-Tart agent. You're going to get burned out or constantly pop when people want. There has to be, no other industry is like ours. And people sometimes expect us to be all the time, right? You can't go to the doctors and do that, or even go get an oil change. But for us, we feel we had to be 24/7. So just never set those expectations. And if you have a client who can't get that, do you really want to work with them? So you kind of just have to do some self-evaluation on that.
Anna, did I hear the words Pop-Tart agent?
I
Did
just-
anyone else?
I did.
I wrote that down.
Yeah. Did everyone else catch that?
Do you guys use that phrase too, or not?
No, but I think now I am.
My East Coast friends. All right, so a Pop-Tart agent can have two meanings. One, you get burned out, right? You burn the Pop-Tart, you get burned out. The other one, though, is like you're popping out every single time. Every single call. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, still leave. Go pop. Go to see it, or 9 o'clock at night, or 10 o'clock at night. Don't be that Pop-Tart agent.
I love it.
Great.
I'm using that. I wrote it down. I will not forget it.
Yeah.
All right, Pocket Pete, what has been some of your biggest challenges and as well your biggest success in real estate?
My biggest challenge has been, as I've grown, like trying to realize where I'm hitting my personal capacity, and start to leverage out time, like hiring people, getting assistants, getting people to do errands for me, getting buyer's agents, because I grew really fast, and by the time I realized I needed help, I was so overwhelmed that I had to take a step back. I had to lose some business to take a minute and coach somebody and teach somebody how to help me. So one thing that I've learned is that you have to realize when you're at about 80% capacity, and then start freeing up your time by hiring or bringing on more agents, or trying to figure out how you can free up more of your larger dollar amount activities, and then finding the right person, knowing how to train them, making your own mistakes, training them. So that's been the biggest challenge and thank God, because it's been about growth, but having to take a few steps back a few times because I've been at capacity instead of before capacity, realizing that I have to leverage my time.
Pete, with that's a very good point. And big producers to new agents all struggle with this when you have to let go. What helped you let go? Because I find that the more you do, agents want to control everything and not let go. They feel that they're the best at the administrative work. They're the best at the negotiations. They're the best to show the home. What helped you let go?
Yes, and I have this battle with my agents all the time, is they think they can do everything perfectly. But I notice with myself, and I even notice with my higher producing agents, is that you probably can do it all great until you hit that 110% capacity. Then you're doing a disservice to all your agents. All your clients. So you don't want to do that, because that's going to ruin your business. You can grow yourself out of business if you don't scale properly. So somebody that can do 80% of what you do is better than you being at 120% capacity and then forgetting the appointments or missing or not treating people like you normally treat them. So in order to protect how great you are, you need to let go and let somebody do it maybe slightly worse than you. But also, a lot of people, you got to trust in people, because I found that a lot of my buyer's agents, or the people that I put trust in, actually improve my systems and have ideas, and they come with a different perspective. So you have to realize you may not know it all or have the full rounded perspective, even though you created the system.
Awesome. That sounds like a big success right there, being able to let go to continue your business growth. But what's been your biggest success?
I think the system that I built out to create referrals. So I spent my first year thinking about not how to do the transaction. Of course, you need to know that, but like trying to be empathetic about what it's like to go through the transaction for the buyer and the seller, and then creating an experience that seems and is unparalleled so that people want to share me and want to give me referrals, not because they like me, but because they want other people to experience what we provide. And I'm super proud of the system that they've put together with that.
And we're definitely going to unpack that in a little bit. That actually is a great lead into our next question. You know, Tony being one of the top Century 21 agents when he was an agent, Anna doing 28 million at 150,000 average sales price. Pocket Pete on pace to do 100 transactions in Long Island. Really though, I want to dig deep into lead generation, because I'm sure that people watching this, whether they're watching this now or watching this later, they want to know what you're doing to generate leads. So Anna, let's start with you. Let's talk about 3 of the top activities you've done to generate leads for your business. And how much time and energy do you put into this? Do you use a CRM? Just unpack for everybody that's watching or listening about your lead gen, how it's done and how it's managed.
All right, perfect. So I do have a really long list of things, and if anyone wants to connect with me later on Facebook, I can send them some sheets of things that I did in the past too. I'd be more than happy to share that with everyone. But honestly, social media is my #1 ROI for about the past 3 to 4 years. So that's definitely my #1 ROI. Starting off, I did do Zillow referrals, postcards, but I would say 3 top activities definitely for us were like postcard, mailings, farming, social media, and some third party like Realtor Zillow. But really, the majority and bulk of it come from social media. I do have a little bit of a celebrity crush on Josh Flagg from $1 Million Listing Movement. So I'm going to quote one of his things, but he said something about 3 or 4 years ago when I was watching the show that I took it and ran with it, and honestly, it changed my business. He said, "Not everyone can have a reality show, but you can make yourself your own local celebrity." And not that you're being pompous or high up, but you can make people know you with these platforms today. I mean, videos, social media, Snapchat, Instagram is right there. So you can make yourself known for really 1/4 of the cost of what a Zillow lead is or Realtor.com lead. So definitely that. We hashtag the word community.
And not to cut you off, Anna, but some people might be watching this, and social media can be intimidating. There's all these different platforms and everything else. If you're looking to really leverage your social media, can you just give us sort of an example of what you do? And if anyone isn't friends with Anna on Facebook or Instagram, I definitely connect with her. I mean, she's a ton of video, but if you could kind of just unravel a little bit of what you do social media, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a phrase in our house. Even my best friends who go out to eat, our phrase is "the phone eats first." Before anyone eats, Anna's taking a picture of the food. So it can't just be, sold, look at me, just listed, I'm #1. You have people with reality TV, for those of you who may have teens or even ourselves, how long are you on TikTok or on these videos watching it? People want, for some reason, they love real estate agents. They think we're all $1 million listing agents. They want to see our lifestyle, and it doesn't have to be pompous. It can be, walking your dog or, park. So I really allow people into my personal life. Now I do, though, on the hindsight, the life work balance, I did create a personal Instagram page that's not even under my real name, and that's just for my super close friends and family, because I am allowing so many people in my social media world. But pretty much, your social media should be allowing people to see you and connect with you. And yeah, it is intimidating, but people are going to see what you look like, know what you sound like when they meet you anyway. And they almost act like, I've been on listing appointments when I was an agent, and somebody literally, not in a creepy way, was like, "Oh my gosh, this is your favorite color," because they already knew me before they met me. You almost win the listing.
Right. So your social media, your Zillow, and your postcards. Those were your three biggest activities.
Yeah, and then we also do a lot of, we hashtag, and you can cut me off anytime because you know me, I could talk for like 2 hours. We hashtag the word community champion. We are in the center of our community. Every week I do a community corner, and it doesn't have to be monetary. You don't have to donate money, but we bring awareness to different things. Good old fashioned donuts. When I was an agent, once a month, I picked out a day and literally would deliver like 20 dozen donuts. At Walmart, they're like $3 per dozen. I mean, maybe more on the East Coast. But personally, just that good old fashioned customer service, guys, it does work. If you're only relying on Roller.com and Zillow, you're just going to be, constant buyer's agent and again, that Pop-Tart agent. But you want to build relationships. I think it was Pete who said, like, a referral to come back. So get out in your community, go visit local businesses, go promote them, go promote restaurants, high school football games. What can you do with that? But I physically have a calendar that was planned out for the month every day, like what I would do for each month. And I can definitely send everyone that and set the money aside. Don't just spend it. Put percentage back into your business.
And what I love about that, Anna, is what you talked about the most, because you did touch on Zillow and postcards, and that's obviously takes money to be able to do. Everything else you just talked about for the majority of that time doesn't cost a lot. All it is, it's an investment in time, effort, and consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love that. Bravo. Because so many agents are looking for, the next best paid lead, the best this. What about the ROI on your time, your grit, your hustle, and your consistency? Like you said, you've had it planned out. So I took a lot of great notes. That's awesome.
No, that's great. And then our return on investment, just for those of you like we boost posts, but our return on investment is $9 for every dollar I spend, which is astronomical.
Yeah,
I mean, I go to baseball all day long with those odds, and I'm not a gambling girl. So social media does work as long as you do it correctly.
And I like, Anna, that you actually track this. You started off with ROI, so you're gauging what's working, what's not. And I think a lot of agents sometimes just throw things up, or they'll try it and not really measure if it's working or not.
Yeah, definitely track it, guys, because you want to, and don't, that was one thing again, and I have a formula too if you guys want to, look at it, but you can't just look at, I made X amount from Roller.com. Look at dollar per dollar to really see where it's going, track it. And if you haven't yet, that's okay, but start today. Because especially going on to the new year, where are you going to put your marketing dollars? Where are you going to put your advertising dollars? So start tracking it like.
No, that's awesome. How about you, Tony?
I strongly believe in, managing your sphere of influence, everyone that's in your database. I've been using Top Producer for 10 years and I love the system. I love a lot of the things that it has to offer. But, you work hard on building relationships, sticking them in your phone, sticking them in your CRM. And, what do you do with them? That's the question that everyone asks, what do I do with all this data and all these contacts? So, staying in touch with everyone that is probably the biggest thing to help an agent get traction in their career. I don't know if you guys have worked with that app from Remax that they just released, First by Remax, but that app's phenomenal on helping you manage your sphere. It actually will tell you if someone in your database listed their house within the last couple of days. And, so I downloaded the app, I start working with it. And then the next thing I know, I get this alert that someone in my database listed their house for $315,000. So I went berserk. I'm like, who is this? I start looking at the notes. And here it was, a lead that I got off of one of my listings like 8 years ago. But I never stayed in touch with them. I tried my best, but, so it's teaching me that I need to stay in contact with those people in my database a little bit more. I mean, and this is all people that I've probably paid for to get these leads in the past. So managing your database and your spheres is crucial. I also do a lot of farming with postcards. I'm from Williamstown. And oddly enough, there was no major franchise in real estate in Williamstown for years. And when we opened up our Remax office, I wanted to open it up here in town, and it was for a reason. This is where I was from. I have a great, reputation as far as knowing everyone here that I went to school with. And I send out postcards so they know that they have a local expert who's been here, who knows these areas like the back of their hand. So,
Tony, and can you unpack a little bit about what you put? You know, a lot of people want to do farming, and we talk about how it has to be consistent and do it for a while. What kind of messaging do you put on your postcards?
a lot of it is just a market update. You know, if I do get a listing, I'll send it out. But I do keep them informed on what's going on in the market. Okay. And obviously, if there's a big event going on in town, you know, we'll put that on one side of the card as well. So I get comments from it a lot. You know, I really do. And, you know, if I get a listing appointment, someone will call me and I go over there. One of the first questions I ask them is, you know, how did you hear about me? How did you get my information? I'm like, oh, I've been receiving your cards for, 15 years, you know? So,
Yes.
and they actually appreciate it because that helps them, on their decision on when they want to put the house on the market. Okay. So there's a lot of things that, I do to stay in touch with the people in the area, my clients. Obviously, it's good to have some kind of lead generation with Zillow or a realtor, but like you said, they can get really expensive. So narrowing down your costs to get the best return is always, what you want to look for.
Tony, you mentioned common ground before, and I could tell you're a work by referral agent.
Yeah.
What do you do to stay in touch with past clients in your sphere?
I do. Social media is one. Okay. So that's great. When their birthday's coming up. And it's funny, every time you have a closing, you take a photo of your client in front of the sign. And then on Time Hop, you get that alert. Hey, this was 2 years ago. So I'll text them or I'll send them something. I do the lifestyle magazine. I send them out to all my past clients. I think that goes out every 6 weeks. And they love it. They always comment that they just made the recipe that was in there. And, but yeah, staying in touch with the clients, sponsoring their kids' soccer tournaments or golf outings or charity events. I mean, I think that goes a long way, when you give back to the people that have given you business in the past. And they really appreciate it. Their family and friends appreciate it. And that's how you build up that referral. Networking is everything. It really is.
Definitely, too, picking up on a theme of community involvement. Definitely a way to help grow your business.
Yeah, and you do it because you want to do it too. It kind of goes hand in hand.
Great. Pocket Pete.
All right.
About you?
So for me, there's three things that I'm doing constantly, but they're all interconnected. They should be together. There's social media. There's so I'm constantly creating videos, creating content, trying to connect with other people. But even video beyond social media, like just sending personal video messages to my clients or to past clients on their birthdays or whatever, just sending a quick message. Then working my sphere of influence and using my post under contract system to stay on top of them. And then the networking with businesses in a way that brings the businesses to my sphere of influence and brings my sphere of influence to the businesses, but also connects them and shares them through social media. So I'm doing what the video people call the triangle of trust, where I am connecting with the local pizza place. I'm sharing them, they're sharing me. So like the people that know, like, and trust the pizza place now trust me, and vice versa. So we're all expanding our connections in the community.
And Pete, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. Can you kind of unpack a little bit of your process of the first time you meet a buyer, what closing happens, sort of some things you do to help you?
Love to. So first of all, branding is the most important thing you can do. People need to remember who you are, and branding is sort of like searing a cow with that cattle prod. When they look at you, they have to think of you in a way that brands you as real estate. So everything I do comes with my brand, Pocket Pete. When I first meet with them, I have them download my app, so I'm always in their pocket. That's why I'm Pocket Pete. Then when I first sit, like, let's say it's a listing appointment, I show up with a branded box of donuts. So I'm breaking the ice in a personal way. I'm doing what my mother taught me to do, is never show up empty-handed. So I show up with a gift and something that's going to make it personal. So our relationship is now starting off feeling like this team, personal atmosphere. Not I'm going to sell you on why I'm the greatest. I'm going to teach you that I'm here to help you. Then each step of the way, I'm doing something that brands me to them. So like, let's say during the inspection for the buyers, they get a branded notebook with my Pocket Pete logo that says Inspection Recollection. And we bring donuts and cookies. We try to make this a whole experience. Then when they're under contract, they get this beautiful branded under contract box. And when they open it up, it's got my Pocket Pete logo. It has nice things to say. You open it up, there's a beautiful picture, and there's more Pocket Pete's. Then you get a personal card from me saying how wonderful it was. I appreciate your trust in me with this life transition. They get a branded card that shows them all the phone numbers they're going to need. Then they get Hershey's bars that are branded. It says under contract, and has something on the flip side. They have a Pocket Pete Hershey Kisses. So the Hershey Kisses have my face at the bottom of the Hershey Kisses, and they get a wooden pen to sign their deed or their contract, their deed with. And then every week they get a gift from me that's connecting a business to them. So so week 1 they get 10 free games of bowling on me. The next week they get 2 free beers and 2 free pizzas at Gino's Pizza. You know how much Gino refers me? Then they get a masseuse will come to their home and give them a massage to relax them, because this is a very stressful process, buying and selling a house in New York. Then they'll get a guy will come to your home and wash your car in your driveway. And it goes on and on for about 8 weeks. And then at the end, they get 2 things, whether they're buying or selling. They get if they're leaving right before they close, they'll have a photographer come and take their last family photo. Or if they're buying, someone come and get their first family photo. And then a professional chef will come to their house and cook them their first date night meal. He brings the pots and pans. He brings the food. He cooks it right in front of you. He pours the wine. He tells you what you're tasting on your palate. Carl knows I don't speak wine, but he does. And the plates are branded. The glasses are branded. And I've created an unparalleled experience that people not only can't believe it, they don't think I make any money, and they're sharing me with a passion with everybody they know, because they want them to go through this. Oh, your realtor got you a bottle of wine? That's nice.
Well, Pete, I got to give you credit. A lot of times I ask agents what's their system when they sell a house to somebody and they follow up, and that is the most in-depth, precise referral system I have ever heard.
I think I might buy from Pete, even though I don't want to move.
And Pete, can you also just extend on that a little bit too? And
Sure.
What about, so that's after they buy the house. Talk a little bit about your, we were talking about it before, the client appreciation stuff you do.
I call it the triple quarterly. So every quarter I make sure that I do 3 things and it's always about them. My whole life, my whole business plan is always about what can I do for you? And then the good comes back. So I do a client appreciation event. So in the summertime, I'll do come on down, get some free ice cream. I'll post it on Facebook. I send bomb videos. So come on down, get some free ice cream just because I appreciate you. I know you'll all the good you've done for my business, and all the appreciation I have for the community. So come on down, just get some free ice cream whenever you want. And then I do a charity event. So we'll like Thanksgiving or Christmas time, we're giving presents, or we're getting giving food to the needy. And then I do a drop off, a little kitschy thing every quarter. So like summertime, they get some waters. They get a water on their front step, branded to me on the top, and it's very simple. It just says, "Happy summer, stay hydrated, don't forget about Pete." And it's just a nudge. And what I do is I use my CRM and other leveraging technology to just because you can't do this yourself once you continue to grow. There's only like 20, 30 people you can constantly call and text without getting sucked in and losing your time, and you can't grow that way. So I use a CRM to do automatic emails, bomb videos, and then in a timed manner. So like we'll say on this day, you're going to send an email with the BombBomb video. On this day, it automatically sends out a text message reminding them of the event, then a BombBomb video, and then a ringless voicemail. So it feels like I called them, but I can't call 200 people. I'll get sucked in. And then they just get, hey, I got a missed call from Pete. Let me check the message. Oh, he's having this event. Now, what happens is people get so tied into who's coming, how many people are coming, am I going to have a successful event? The success actually happens with the outreach, not the event. The event is great. It's great for social media. But actually, a lot of the referrals I get are from the outreach and not even the people that show up. Right. So you got to think more about, I need a reason to touch these people in a way that shows that I care about them. Not, hey, can I have some business, please? It's, hey, we're doing this thing because I appreciate you, or hey, I like to give this charity. I love how it feels when I do it, so I want to give you this opportunity to feel the same way. And
yeah,
then
that's amazing. Because I always say, agents get stuck on, I don't know what to call my clients with. You know, I haven't talked to them in a while. You know, I say you never want to call and just say, hey, I'm checking in. You always want to be able to call and offer something. So, you know, I love when I heard Pete tell me that yesterday, because that's so in line with everything that I believe. And, you know, Pete really 10X's it, right? Absolutely. With the massages and the car washes and everything. That's great, because what you're also doing is you're then taking those business owners and connecting them to you as a referral source.
Right.
So that's awesome. We're going to take real quick. If you have any questions, this is a great time. We're going to take a second, drop them in the comments. We'll display them on the screen. We'll have our guests answer it, because I know we just went through a lot of information between our three panelists on lead gen, but any lead generation questions at all, you know, please post now and we'll definitely get to it.
Great. Tony, I have a question. Why are you willing to open up your playbook and share your secrets with us and the audience today?
Secrets? I don't think they're secrets at all, to be honest with you. I mean, there's so many books out there. There's so many videos out there. You know, great coaches like Carl. I don't think they're really secrets. I think it's going to come down to, you know, leadership. Okay. Now, obviously, we're in different roles here, but you know, I'm a history buff, you know, and some of the great leaders in history, you know, were able to lead people to success, you know. So I think if you're just willing to share what you've learned in the past, okay, face to face or on the phone or via, you know, Zoom or whatever we're doing, it goes a long way. You know, people love to be led. Okay. And it's, you know, there's going to be agents out there that are better than you. And that's fine. You know, you might be a better businessman. You might be able to do certain things better than them. But if you do that, they you know, they gravitate towards you, you know, and there's no doubt in my mind you're going to learn something from them, you know. And when I look at, you know, where I came from and where I'm at now, you know, when I joined RE/MAX, I had the great privilege to meet Dave Lineker, and in person. And he said, "You're opening up your own company." Yeah, I'm gonna be doing. He goes, "Do yourself a favor, hire better people that are better than you." And I said, "Wow, it really does make sense. If you hire people and surround yourself with people that are better than you, it's going to make you better. And in turn, you're really not sharing secrets. You're just motivating each other. You know, that one might have a better personality than the other, but that one might be really good with technology. So let's merge those personalities together and come up with a great agent." And that's all it really is. So I don't know if they're secrets. It just might be ways of giving information that's been passed on, you know, through the generations of real estate. But that's how I look at it, really.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony. Pete, you're opening up your playbook, giving us kind of move by move of your strategy to follow up and everything. Why are you opening up to us today?
Oh, well, first, I'm a broker. That's the heart I have. Is when I hear that I've changed or helped somebody do something that's improved their lives, that feeling can't be matched. If I give something to somebody that changes their lives, I'm so open to doing it. But also, what I'm doing is a referral system. It's about the people in my life. So one time, another agent said, "Can I call your client? They're a coach at Orange Theory, and I wanted to join." And I just said to her, I said, "You don't even have to ask me. You can call my clients whenever you want. if you were able to steal my clients, it's not shame on you, it's shame on me.
Shame on me, right?
So I'm of the mind that if what I'm teaching can only help, it can't hurt me. So if I can create that a better life for somebody or help somebody do something slightly better, I'm sure I'll get that back in return from anybody that I help.
Awesome. Thank you, Pete. I totally agree and ditto that. Anna.
First, I have to say I'm glad I never competed against Pete.
Thanks, Anna.
Take all his notes. No, and helping people, I'm going to kind of piggyback off what he said a little bit. I want people to experience those aha moments, and everyone has a different goal. So whether it's, maybe somebody wants to sell 5 houses, and if they hit that, that's great, and they succeeded, or 10 houses, whatever it is, 20, 30, you guys get the point. But I want people to live the life that they want and deserve and happy with it. The other thing too is, unfortunately, along the way, many of you guys probably experience this too. I got my broker's license in 2019, so this is happening to me with a few people who don't know me in the area, like, oh, you're a brand new agent. I'm like, no, the license year changes. I hate it with a passion when people are so rude to new agents, and I want to help them. Like, oh, you only been in the business for this amount of years, or oh, you've only been in the business for, you only did this much production. How awful, right? Be kind, be nice. We all have the same goal. There's plenty of business for everyone, and at the same time, whether against agents and co-brokes, the ultimate goal is the client get in their house. So if we can help out in any way, why not? Help each other out. Don't be that agent that runs the state and tells on everyone and makes everyone life hell. Honestly, just be kind and help each other out.
Awesome.
Thank
you, Anna.
And I think we do have a question that someone at Rupa asked. What are some of the cheap ways you can do for door knocking?
Your hand.
Yeah.
Maybe some leave behinds, or if someone's not there, are you guys leaving any material at all?
I've never knocked on a door. I don't know.
I did throw up because I was so nervous back in the day.
You threw up?
I started to twitch because I was waiting for him to answer, and I went back to my car and drove back. It's tough. Door knocking today is really tough with everyone with the Ring doorbells. They see who's at the door. If they don't know you, they ain't answering the door.
Well, actually, that sounds like a great idea, though. Now that they have Ring doorbells, have a pitch for the Ring doorbell.
Have a sound or something, right?
Yeah, like if you ring it, hey, I know you're not going to answer, but I'm Pocket Pete. I just want to, tell you who I am, what I do, and when you check out this message, here's my number. I'll talk to you soon. And that's it. You literally don't have. There could be a Ring system that we can regenerate from.
Video too. So now they got your contact information
right
saved.
I think we just invented something.
I think we did, Pete.
and I think whatever you do is you just got to leave some item of value. So just some item of value branded to you, whether it's along the Pocket Pete, your Pocket Pete brand, or anything else. But and I got to tell you, if you guys follow Pete on social media or anything, you will see his brand, Pocket Pete. The moment I saw he came yesterday, a day early. At the moment I saw him, I was like, "Hey, Pocket Pete," right? So it really does work when you are consistent with it.
People forget my name, even though my name is in the brand. They know me. They're like, "What's your name?" I know you as Pocket Pete. I'm like, "It's Pete. It's right it's in the brand of the name."
That's great. That's awesome. Hey, Pete, further along, how important is education and training in your success, especially as an agent? What successful opportunities have you found to have the greatest, what educational have you found to have the greatest impact on your career?
So early on, it was technology. I took all the technology educational seminars from our MLS, from different third-party companies. I found that helped me really leap ahead. And then our MLS has a great buyer agency course. But now that I'm in it, and what I find is the education comes from other types of businesses, and hearing how other businesses work and what they do, to kind of think of out of the box kind of ideas that can fit in our business to implement them so that we can stand out. So like, I really get into, when I meet a business owner or a friend that's doing a business, I really get into their systems, and I want to hear how they do things so I can steal one or two things that our business doesn't do.
No, that's great. How about you, Anna? How about the training education piece?
Well, when I got this, I started laughing because I'm like, let me tell you a story about how I met Carl. So I think that will tell you how much I appreciate and value education. So education is everything. I'm an education nerd. Honestly, I worked for proprietary education in the past as far as training goes. But yeah, I mean, I met Carl through a Remax platform for brokers, and he legit said, "Hey, I don't know if he really meant this. You know, when you ask somebody how their day is, but you really don't mean it because you're in a rush." So he said, "Hey, anyone that wants to come out and spend a day at my brokerage and learn, I'll buy you lunch." And I think literally that day I was like, "Hey, this is Anna from Ohio. You don't know me, but I come spend time with you." So literally flew out to Jersey and spent the day with them, and it was just so valuable. I mean, we still use so much stuff. So guys, education is so important. I'm a big believer too in befriending people outside of the state that you live in. Because they're not competing with you. You know, they're going to give you everything they know, their entire playbook, because they're not right next door to you. So befriend as many people, be a sponge, and just take it all in. Still to this day, even as a broker, one day a week, I carve out at least a couple hours for continuing education. Not like the classes you have to take to the state, but just learning videos, stuff like this.
Well, I think what's important in that, Anna, is, education is one thing, training is another thing, but taking action is a whole different thing. I was speaking probably in front of thousands of brokers when I said that, and I had maybe 2 people reach out to me, and
Wow.
Anna being the only one who actually hopped on a plane and came, right? And I meant it too.
That's
So
impressive.
yeah, so taking action is, you could go through all the education, you could go through all the training, but if you don't take action, and I talk about accountability a lot, right? And you're not accountable for what you're doing and the steps you take, really training is not for anything. How many times have you left a seminar all pumped up just to leave the room and do nothing and be right back where it was?
Yeah.
But how about you, Tony? So how does education play a role for you?
I mean, obviously their answers are phenomenal. I mean, we all really, encourage education. I mean, look where the business was 15 years ago when I got in it. If I stuck in that mode and didn't learn technology as it evolved, my business wouldn't evolve. So, education is very important, whether it's reading, I probably read every day, whether it's online or a book. Okay. It's part of my routine. But look, something like we're doing right now. I mean, you've sent out this link. There should be, thousands of people that have known that we were going to be doing this by now that are in the industry. Now, if they took the time to actually watch it, they'd be, picking up the ideas from Anna and Pete, and making their playbook even better. But if they didn't, they missed out on this hour or so of education, that, they're missing out on. Okay.
Yeah.
It's great information. It really, really is. I mean, I think some agents might get in their own way. I think that's probably the biggest thing. They get in their own way and not learning because they're in that routine of their daily routine of just doing business, list, and not taking the time to actually grow so they can do twice the amount of business.
Great. We have a question from Kim, which is, what do you guys think about a YouTube channel? Is anyone using YouTube? What do you guys think overall on YouTube? Anna?
Hi, Kim. She's from Ohio, so I know her. So I was like, I don't know if she wants me to answer because I've talked to her before. I have a YouTube channel for me right now, though. It doesn't really generate. You have to have one. I think definitely have one. Upload all your videos, upload all your things. I get more views on my social media than I do my YouTube, but I definitely think, especially as the market shifts and you have a lot of the younger generation buying homes, we're going to see a lot more of like the YouTube and the Snapchats. We have to keep up with the times. As I'm putting myself, I'm aging myself right now, but you have to keep up with that. So definitely have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, but Anna, to unpack that, YouTube is a service that hosts video. You might not use YouTube, but you do probably the most video out of a lot of people I know. Talk about how much videos helped in your business.
Yeah, I do videos all the time. Like all the time. And every day of the week I have something that I try to do, like Tuesday tip for agents, Wednesday wisdom, Thursday's community corner. I try to go live as much as possible. People love lives. They like when you mess up, even it shows the realness of it. If you trip up on a word, just laugh at yourself. So I have a theme that I follow for videos so that people who know me want to follow on certain days. So I highly recommend you get something that you want in the area and use your passions. If you like to play a certain sport or whatnot. But also be spontaneous and like go live. But yeah, video has completely changed the market for us for sure.
Right. Pete, are you using video?
I constantly use video, and YouTube is something that I need to spend more time in to understand I think you need more search engine optimization to really leverage the connecting with people on YouTube. But I certainly use it to take the content that I create, even on Facebook and Instagram, to hold it for when I need it. So when something is relevant or something would work for one of my agents or one of my clients, I have it there, and then I also add it to our Remax. It's where it's a platform I would add it to add it to our Remax Integrity Leaders app when there's some good content for our agents, or something good that should go inside my Pocket Pete app. So there's a million ways to use it. I think you should get used to and get good at YouTube. I just can't speak to the way it would connect and grow your business where you're directly to the consumer.
Well, that leads into Corey's question. So do you guys have what is your preferred platform on social media?
Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram. Both. How about you, Tony?
Facebook. We do have a office YouTube channel. Okay. We have 3 or 4 smart TVs throughout our building where we're constantly playing a playlist that we've created with Remax videos, office videos, constantly streaming. But as far as recruiting agents, I have a playlist that I can email to an agent that I've spoken to, so they can see all the technology that Remax has, what they have to offer, the history of Remax, our office, so forth and so on. So we do use on a daily basis. But as far as Facebook goes, a lot of my agents do use Facebook as their video, and Instagram. I know TikTok is the biggest thing. I don't know a lot about it. That's probably something I should have to learn about. But yeah, we use multiple video platforms.
And one thing I would say is take online and take online and bring it offline. So what I mean by that is if you're Facebook friends or Instagram and your past client had a big celebration, a birth of a child, whatever it might be, take what you see online and just don't connect with them online. Call them, say, hey, I saw this on social media. Congratulations, or send them a little gift, thinking of you, whatever it might be for what they do. But I would say take online off. That's where you really leverage social media.
Can I expand on that?
Level. Of course.
So 2 things that have really helped me with through Facebook are obviously you guys see you see events happen when it gives you an opportunity to people in my life that I feel close with, but I haven't seen them in 10 years or 15 years. But like they'll post that somebody passed away. They'll post that somebody or that there's like had a baby, and that's an opportunity, even though you haven't seen them in 10, 15 years, where you can send them something to just show them that you really care. And I've had incredible advocacy come out of those moments where if someone was sick or, I would send them, Amazon has this great like get well blanket where you can send that to them, or like send flowers for a certain event, or like baby stuff. And it goes from this disconnected, like distant relationship to immediately you've created an advocate out of that situation.
I want to just add to that as well, as all the panelists have said. It doesn't matter if it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. It's what you utilize, right? And what you're taking action from, to Carl's point as well. That's an alert. Whatever their life change or their post is, that's an alert to actually reach out and touch them. So it's whatever you're going to utilize, that's what's going to work for you.
Yeah. And don't forget, explore BombBomb too. I use BombBomb on a regular basis. Sending that email, personal message to someone, it always puts a smile on their face. Oh, I needed that today. I was having a bad day. You made me laugh. And it don't even have to be about the business. Anniversaries, birthdays, stuff like these guys are talking.
Yeah, because I say video is the norm. You got to get into video. and the way you look and sound on videos, the way you look and sound on TV in real life, right? Like you got to get into video, you got to use it, you got to embrace it because it's only going to help your business.
All right, guys, switching gears a little bit, through this roller coaster year, how's business for everyone? Is it up, down, equal? Let's start with you, Tony.
Well, when March hit, no one knew what was going to happen this year. You know, I was preparing for another 08. And, you know, being in New Jersey, we were fortunate enough. I mean, I don't know what Pete went through. I mean, I'm sure he went through hell, but, you know, we were fortunate enough to still work at some capacity. I mean, I shut the office down for 3 months and had everyone work remotely. But, you know, oddly enough, the market was still steady. It's not like it is right now. Right now, it's on fire. I mean, you're putting a house on the market, and within hours, you're having 10, 20 offers on the property. There's just many more buyers than there are listings. The inventory is way down. So navigating through that time, you didn't know how to budget yourself with the office. We still kept all of our employees on payroll, but you know, the market this year is great, you know, and you hate to say that with everything that's going on, and no one would have predicted it, you know, but with interest rates the way they are and the buyers excited about still looking to buy something, it's been one of those years, you know, I will not forget in my career, you know, looking back at it. It's totally unexpected.
Pete, how's this year been? Have you made any adjustments? How's it been for you?
Oh, we've made quite a few adjustments, but early on, you know, in March, we were nearly completely shut down, and one of the saviors was my addiction to technology. We Matterport every listing, so we were able to sell. You know, our business was down, but we were able to still sell and still compete, and we actually sold a good amount of houses virtually without anyone actually walking through the door. We even had some bidding wars where no one stepped on the property. So we were lucky enough to have that happen. And then as soon as they opened up the gate, it's been crazy. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm working till 11 o'clock at night, and getting up and doing it again. So it's been a whirlwind. My business will net be up. In March, I didn't know if I was going to be out of business. Some of the changes, though, have been the consumers accepting a lot of virtual things like meetings. Like, hey, do you want to Zoom for your first buyer consultation? Do you want to Zoom with me for this listing consultation? Hey, I have some offers to present to you. Do you want to Zoom at it? And that the Zoom and the Facebook video connection has really helped me both leverage my time, but still keep that feeling of connection, because you're looking in the camera and you're looking in their eyes, and they're doing the same to you. So it's actually helped where, like, I would have a phone call and people would think it was weird that I wanted to FaceTime with them. It sort of became the norm because everyone is doing it now in their own businesses. So getting that eye to eye constantly is awesome for business.
I'm going to age myself here. When I started in the business, offers were still presented in person, and that made it so much easier to negotiate because you can really read body language and explain things a lot better than on the phone. And I think, to use Carl's word, this has made us all pivot to a Zoom or platform where you're interacting with them in different ways. So yeah, thanks for sharing, Pete. And Anna, how's business out in Ohio?
Yeah, it's I mean, business is good. Obviously, a little bit slower than our numbers are a little bit down from last year, but our agents are crazy busy. I think a lot of people, because they're inside their house, realize that they don't like it and want to move. But really, Carl's helped me a lot with as far as connecting with Zoom. A lot of training. I think the hardest part for us was not being together with the agents. We had a very family atmosphere where people met at least once a week. Everyone got together. So that was definitely the hardest thing. And we just kind of took a shift to the community, like free and reduced lunch for kids. What can we do? Some food drives and raise food. So we just kind of took a community drive, try to support restaurants in the area. and kind of took the shift from real estate agent to community leaders and what can we do to give back.
Awesome.
And that's great. I think everybody's watching, and the panelists, with the market the way it is everybody right now is dealing with multiple offer situations, right? Yeah. How many times I hear from the agents, and everything's going, majority of stuff's going to multiple offers. Tony, how do you handle multiple offers with buyers and sellers in this market?
Okay. Well, the first term I don't use highest and best, because people say, well, we want higher than the other offer. It doesn't mean it's the best offer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we just say to present your best offer and your final offer. And unfortunately, almost every listing is getting best and final offers. But, you know, you want to do the right thing. You want to be able to communicate, you know, with the other agents, because these, you know, you're going to be working with them in the future. So you want to make it seem like, and you want to tell them you're going to get a fair shot at this property, and we're going to work with the sellers to choose the best offer that came across the table. So, you know, working, I mean, obviously you're doing a lot of work with them. Coming up with a fair time frame for everyone to get them in is crucial. But communication is going to be everything, especially with your sellers, because, you know, you got to keep their high, you know, somewhat level, and not let it just go through the roof and say, well, maybe we can get 50,000 over asking, you know. It's just, you got to really, you got to handle it the right way. That's the only way I can really put it. And, you know, tell your agents that are working with you, if you have any questions about the best and final, you know, you don't want the phone call ringing saying that this was done wrong, or, you know, their clients didn't have a fair chance.
How about you, Anna? How are you handling multiple offers and highest and best?
Yeah, so there's a couple sides to this. With the buyers, one thing that you can do for buyers are able is you can offer to pay the seller's closing costs. So, you know, don't ask for any closing costs at all, but if you ask to pay for the seller's closing costs, that kind of leverages it, but that's giving money off the seller. And again, real quick though, make sure to check with your local state and broker, because every state's different. So as long as you guys are allowed to do that, so I don't want to advise you guys illy. Also escalation clauses, if you guys are allowed to do that, we do a lot of escalation clauses. And then basically too, with again, fair housing, check with your broker, but a lot of our clients have one offers based on writing a letter to the seller and kind of let them know about their situation. But again, check with your broker if fair housing allows in your state. For listing side, you know, we try to create urge to create his market, do like Facebook teaser videos where we only show the exterior. But guys, leverage it. If you don't get that house, then farm that whole neighborhood, you know, door knock or write letters or postcards saying, hey, my buyer wants a home in this neighborhood. We missed out on it. You know, it could have changed the value of your home. Saying that makes them call it, you know, it could have possibly changed the value of your house. Now they're like, oh, higher, lower, and they'll call you. Even if your buyer doesn't want that house, maybe you have a listing now. So use it to your advantage.
No, that's great too. And I always tell buyers in a highest and best situation is, you know, make the offer where if I come back and tell you you got the house, you're ecstatic, right? Because the worst is when you tell a buyer they got it after a highest and best and they go, ooh, maybe we paid too much, right? And they get cold feet. And I also tell them, if I come back to you and tell them that they didn't take your offer, you're okay with it. Like, you put your best foot forward. Because sometimes you go back and tell them no, like, well, tell them we'll give them another 20,000, right? And it's tough. And sometimes the listing agents hate that type of negotiation, but that's one way I've really dealt with buyers on handling it in this situation. How about you, Pocket Pete?
So one, organization is key when you're having 100 showings in 5 days and you're getting 20 offers. You have to set a limit to when you're going to, you know, present the offers, and you need to, you know, what I try to guide my buyers on is they need to prepare mentally for a fast-paced situation where we may accept one offer, but if we get any sense, because if we have 10 offers or 2 or 3 other offers, those are ships that are passing in the night. So we need to keep a real close eye on and get a sense of how that transaction's doing, or we need to jump ship pretty quickly to make sure we're not losing all of the momentum that we built up with those, you know, 100 showings, and then have to start all over and try to recreate that magic. So that's something that I have to pay really close attention to make sure that we're protecting that value that happened with that honeymoon period when everyone came in. When it comes to buyers, I find it helps to show our value, to say how professional we are, and like, to try to win a tie, and to say how easy the transaction is going to be. I like to say I have a transaction coordinator. I have this. I have that. This is going to be the most professional transaction you've ever been in. They're using my inspector. They're using my attorney. There's nothing that's going to fall through the fall through the cracks. You could just put your feet up. Just put your feet up. I'm going to handle everything. and selling yourself and your buyers is really important. And if you can get a beat on the appraisal, and maybe, talk to the mortgage banker, see if you can get any sense of where it might appraise. So you can say, if I've already chatted about the appraisal, even get them to kick in maybe a couple dollars above. Like, let's say it's, I'm offering 450, but if it appraises at 440, I'm still giving you that 450. I just want you to know. That tends to go a long way with winning those ties.
Pete, I want to touch on that. So many times as listing agents, you just get an offer and you never speak to the agent. This is so important now to have the conversation. You need to sell yourself as well as the offer, to your point. You want the agent to want to work with you, right? And let them know that it's going to be the most professional transaction. Kick your feet up, as you said, Pete, but everyone needs to really communicate and sell themselves, that they're going to manage the buyer's expectations, manage the process, and not disappear. So that's so important. Guys, we have two more questions. So if anyone has any questions, please type them in the question box. But have you guys seen any new opportunities from the market shift and what's going on? Or do you see some opportunities coming up in the future? Anna, do you want to kick that off?
Yeah, I think definitely, you guys are probably like a broken record here in community, but definitely the new opportunities are. I think this is proven again that you just can't be that Zillow agent or that Realtor.com agent, because the market will shift and we don't know what happens. I mean, let's hope it doesn't happen again, but we can be affected by this virus again and other things, market crashing. So yes, the opportunities are definitely be in the forefront, community, how you can help, because people remember. I mean, studies show that if we were to walk outside right now and go ask multiple people, how many real estate agents can you think of? The majority of people can only come up with 3 names. So how can you become one of those top 3? And remember that through development.
Awesome. Tony, how about you? Do you see any opportunity? Is there any today?
I mean, there's plenty of opportunities out there right now. It's just coming down to grabbing those opportunities, if that makes sense, the way the market is. I think, staying grounded during this craziness is probably important, for agents, because, they might not be used to that roller coaster, market if you're in the business a long time, like we were talking about earlier in 2008. So I would grab the opportunities now if you can grab them, but stay grounded to the point where it's not the new norm for a long, long time. It could be. No one knows what that's going to be with, the virus, the elections, the new year, interest rates, but it just comes down to taking the moment and grabbing it if you can.
Got it. Thank you. Pete.
Yeah, I mean, like in my area, there definitely are opportunities for some of the shifts that Corona has caused. So like, we live close to New York City, and we're getting a lot of people that are trying to get out of New York City, especially the co-ops and the condos, because the beauty of living in Queens and Brooklyn and Manhattan is being able to, you might have a small space that you're in, but when you walk down out of your condo, you're in this incredible environment where there's everything you want. Now everything's shut down, or people are scared to go out and everyone's wearing masks. So they're coming out to the suburbs. So there's that opportunity. But more importantly, I mean, the perspective always has to be what's new, where's the shift, and how do we capitalize on it? Because there's always going to be a shift. There's what people are always going to call bad markets or good markets are just opportunity shifts. So even in a bad market, that just means things are different, and the opportunity is under a rock somewhere, and you gotta move that rock.
Absolutely.
Before I ask our last question, we do have some questions in the comments that I want to touch on. Elvin had a question about what is the productivity tool you swear by? Anyone wants to jump in?
CRM and iPhone.
What CRM do you use, Pocket?
I use Chime. I'm working on getting onto Booge, but Chime has an incredible platform. There's so much you can do that I can't speak on 90% of the stuff you can do. But it allows me to do all the things I talk about, like stay in touch with my clients in a very smart way, where we can set calendar dates where each thing goes out for different events. So it integrates with BombBomb and YouTube and anything that I would need to stay organized and stay connected with the community that I need to stay connected with.
Awesome. Anna, Tony, do you have any productivity tools you want to share that you use?
I use Top Producer. I've been using Top Producer for 10 years, and it's phenomenal to see that Remax stepped up to the plate with Booge. I think that's just going to be a transition period for a lot of people that have been using other CRMs, because there's so much information that you just put into those CRMs over the years. But it definitely find some tool that's going to help you manage your database, okay? Because, managing people, I can't stress it enough, is the most important thing you're going to do in your career. And, figuring out your calendar. I mean, when you talk to Anna here, she's got her calendar and it seems like this. So how are you going to manage that calendar on a daily basis with reminders, highlights, all that? I'm sure Anna can touch more about that, but definitely a tool that's going to help you manage your database and your people.
How about you, Anna? Any tricks? And it could be easy as a pen and paper, a legal pad, a Google Calendar.
So I'm really old-fashioned with things, honestly. If you go to my home right now, I have a good old-fashioned 1980s desk calendar. Everything right now. I put stuff on my phone, but I still have a good old-fashioned planner. And every Sunday night, my month is set, but then every Sunday night I carve out about an hour of time to plan out my week and what exactly I want to do. So definitely that. We do use CRM. We use Boom. We just switched to Booge recently. We do use BombBomb, and maybe it's not. I think it's a tool, but I highly recommend, guys, to hire at least a part-time admin to help you, keep you organized, and kind of push off some of that work, non-dollar producing items like that, to let you focus on what you do best.
No, it's great. And we have one more question I want to dive into from Anna. What can you share with brand new agents? Low cost effective way to help jumpstart their business. And I talk about this a lot. I always say that tool is the telephone, because that's how I built my business and it didn't cost any money when I was a brand new agent. What kind of things do you guys want to share?
I have a whole list of them. So if anyone wants to message me on Facebook later, I'll send you. I actually do a training called Ways to Build Your Business on Little or No Money. And I kind of touched on it earlier. Things from the donut days, which are minimal. I have a rule. You go out there at least 5 days a week and you hand out 10 new business cards to people and you're networking. Before you know it, you have thousands of new contacts for your CRM. We do coupons for businesses. We don't do it. We just hook up with another business and say, hey, will you get 15% off if I promote your video on Facebook, and the client goes there and we have that client then tag us and take a picture. So now we're out there doing that. There's a lot of different things that you can get involved in. I know probably lack of time though, but if anyone wants to contact me, I'll be more than happy to share those sheets I have.
Great.
I have.
You got anything?
Oh, I got some. So, one, I would start with creating the people, making the list of all the people that know you, like you, and want to do business with you. If you're married, find that list of people you invited to your wedding, and then find the extra people that you decided you shouldn't come to your wedding, and reach out to them and let them know that there's now somebody in the real estate business that they can trust. And then go over that list and all the other lists of all the businesses, all the people that own businesses and small businesses, and just let them know, hey, I just got picked up by this incredible real estate company. What can I do to help you? How can I connect with my clients that are going to be coming through the door with the great services that you do? let me know when you can chat about that, because you're so wonderful. I want to make sure that my clients don't miss out on the great stuff that you do. And now you're already creating advocates before you even got started.
It's good. That's a lot of good actionable items. That was really good. I picked up a ton this whole time. P, asking you, I mean, what advice do you offer to everybody who's watching now and who's going to be, because we're recording this is going to be watched in the future. What advice do you offer to them?
So this is, if you're a new agent or whatever level you're at, but if you're a new agent, you have to keep going. You have to believe that as long as you put the effort in, it's going to work out. And this business is something that doesn't have you don't necessarily get out what you put in. There you can up to like if you're putting in 8 hours, you might get 8 hours worth of production, but when you put in 16 hours, you might get 100 hours worth of production. So the more you do, the more you can learn how to leverage your time. So get as many interactions as you possibly can, make as many mistakes as you can. Embrace failure. Ask yourself what you did wrong, how you can do it better, even what you did right, how you can do it better, and slowly you're going to become the person that you want to be.
Great. How about you, Anna? What advice do you have to offer everybody that's watching now and be watching this later?
Yeah, you got this. You do. You got this. Just keep it up. And honestly, it's consistency. Apply. One of my favorite quotes, like the entrepreneur quotes, is I wrote it down just so I won't mess it up, but I live by this. It's written in a lot of places. Living life 50 years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. It's hard work, guys. It is. It's a lot of hours at first. You've got to put a lot of hours in, but treat it that you're the CEO of this company and that you work for yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Good old fashioned, customer service and community.
It's great. Tone?
I would probably just say one word: balance. We all want to be successful. We all want to work really, really hard. You got into this business because you fell in love with it and you want to succeed at it, but you don't want it to run your life either, because then you're going to end up hating the business. Okay. Right. So I think a balance between your work life and your personal life is crucial to longevity in any career, because this career will eat you up. You'll be on the phone. These guys will tell you until, 10, 11 o'clock at night every night, but, and people have different philosophies on that. Some people love doing that. Personally, I want to say it was, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I really started to plateau in my business. I was reading an article from an agent in California, and he was very successful, and he was trying to find a way to balance out his life. And he gave himself hours, after a certain time, he spent it with his family, and that was it. And he ended up doubling his business because he was more productive the next day. He wasn't burnt out. People respected him more because he had put, his family in that equation of balance. So it's tough. There's no doubt about it. I struggle with it every day still, and I'm sure these guys do as well. But finding that balance is going to help you succeed for a long time.
Don't be the Pop-Tart agent. Don't be the Pop-Tart agent. He sounds like he was being the Pop-Tart agent. Yeah.
I love that. And then if I can just interject really quick, I honestly, guys, I took so many notes myself. So thank you, Tony and Pete, too, because I learned a lot, and I can't wait to, share it with other agents in the area. But for anyone listening right now or in the future, just remember, myself, Carl, all of us, Tony, Pete, all of us guys, it didn't happen overnight. Just like, losing weight or working out, it's not going to happen overnight. Just keep up with it. Just consistency, and you'll get there. So don't worry. None of us were instant success overnight.
Right. And don't compare your page 1 to somebody else's page 100.
Exactly.
Right.
Spot on.
Well, that's all the questions we got. And on behalf of, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you all for opening up, sharing your time.
Thank you.
I took a ton of notes. I could tell.
I have a ton of notes.
Carl took a ton of notes. There's a lot from this, a lot of nuggets. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. And again, this is being recorded, so we are going to push it back out. I personally just want to thank everybody again, and I will keep an eye out for our training next month in October, and again on the same virtual platform. And thanks again, and everyone take care.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.